Hi everyone, this is Dr. C. A. Pooja Gupta, your ACCA mentor at GCC Global Foundation. So today we are going to be covering the FR exam tips and what it takes you to become a successful student at FR examination. So coming to the first slide, your exam format. Let's talk about the exam duration. The exam duration is 3 hours and the number of sections that are there are also 3. You have section A, section B and section C. Section A is 15 MCQs of 2 marks each, which makes it to 30 marks. Section B is 3 scenarios and each scenario containing 5 questions related to that scenario, again worth 2 marks each. So this again counts up to 30 marks. And the last section, which is section C, will have 40 marks split into 2 case studies worth 20 marks each. Now coming to this most important topic, I think the basic idea behind ACCA FR is to understand the verbs. Okay, it is very important to understand कि किस तरह के verbs आते हैं. Now this entire information is given to you on ACCA Study Hub. There is a full document which talks about the verbs. The most prominent verbs that gets examined at the FR level are calculate, explain and comment. Now, students, please understand that FR is essentially a paper where a lot of calculations are involved. So you understand the IFRS and what type of questions come in the examination. So they ask कि IS-16 हमने एक मशीनरी खरीदी and you please calculate the cost of the machinery as per IS-16. So it is very important to understand the calculation part in IS and IFRS because at FR level mostly जो questions आएंगे वो calculation के around ही revolve करेंगे. So first is calculate. What you need to understand? You need to understand the computations well. Now please note a very important point here that whatever you are computing, okay, whatever you are calculating, you need to have an explanation behind that. So even if it is one liner or two liner, you need to explain your numbers, why you have calculated a particular number, what is the logic behind it, which standard you have used. The explanation needs to be done well in the working note itself. Second is explain. So how will you get the questions? Explain the concept behind IS-16 with respect to the machinery mentioned in the case study. Okay, so for example, what they may ask you कि अगर IS-16 का depreciation वाला part है, so they may give you कि एक question है, एक machinery है, उसका depreciation calculation निकालो और उसे explain करो कि आपने क्या logic लगाया पीछे. So what will you have to do? You will have to explain the logic behind why you have done the calculation in a particular way, taking reference from the IFRS or the particular IS. So that is explain. Third is comment. Now this you will find mostly in section C questions, जहाँ पे तुम्हारा question आएगा interpretation के ऊपर. So how will they give you? They will tell you comment on the performance and the financial position of the company. So comment typically means you have to give your opinion. Okay, whether the company is doing good, it is doing bad, or what will be the impact of an accounting entry on the financial statement. So comment upon it. Will it lead to, let's say, a increase in the net profit, or will it lead to a decrease in the net profit, and so on. Include your explanation, illustration, and even the criticism. So you also have to explain that if the accounting treatment has been done in a particular way and you are going to be correcting it, that it might impact your gearing ratio, or it might impact your, let's say, the gross profit ratio, right? So you will have to give your opinion with respect to all these verbs. So coming to the time management strategy, as you have seen that the 3 sections, section A, section B and section C are 30 marks, 30 marks and 40 marks. So this accounts for 100 marks. The time to complete your paper is 180 marks. So 180 divided by 100, which means 1.8 minutes per mark is available to you to solve the question. Now, this is how the 1.8 multiplier has come. Now, if you will multiply 30 into 1.8, 54 minutes and 72 minutes is the recommended time by the examiners. But our strategy says that the time you should be taking should be around 40 minutes, 50 minutes and 80 minutes. Let me tell you how. Okay. So, section A, you have 15 MCQs coming in section A. Now, the good part about the MCQs is that either you know the answer or you do not know the answer, right? MCQs में you will have the calculative answers or the calculative questions, and there will be some questions which will be non-calculative. So non-calculative तो क्या होगा? Statement आएगा, question आएगा, 4 statements आएंगे, या तो पता होगा या तो नहीं पता होगा. So this will not take technically 1.8, or let's say if it is 2 marks each, तो 3.6 minutes तो definitely नहीं लगेंगे to solve one question which is a statement based question. The calculation based question might take you 3.6 minutes. So suggested time is 54 minutes, but you should be able to complete this in 40 minutes. Okay. Again, section B, scenario based questions hai. One scenario, 5 questions each, mostly MCQs again. So the same technique here, you might take 10 minutes extra because it is scenario based, and what happens is usually scenario based questions में अगर आपका section A में कोई ratio आपने calculate करा है तो ऐसा हो सकता है कि उसी scenario question B में that ratio is being used to calculate further numbers. So अगर आपका A गलत हो गया तो आपका B भी गलत हो सकता है. So you might take little extra here because the numbers are interrelated or the answers are interrelated. Coming to section C, 72 minutes is the recommended time, but we say that you should be taking 80 minutes because we have saved time here and because this is the major section. Now section C, the good part is that they give you marks for the working notes. Okay, तो अगर आपका final answer match नहीं करा, no issues, no problem with that. But if you have given the working notes well, each and every step, each and every working note in your answer carries marks. So that's the good part. So you should be spending more time here because this is easy marks as compared to here where there is a clear answer, yes or no, right? So this is 80 and then we still have 10 minutes to revise. Okay, very important because it's a stressful situation. We may tend to do mistakes. So it is better that you spend 10 minutes on the question where you feel you are not as confident or you feel you need to rework. Spend those 10 minutes and use them wisely. Now coming to the next slide, which is your syllabus priority. Now this you will get from the study hub. They have very well given you the syllabus bifurcation. According to me, the priority to cover the syllabus should be section B, you should be taking at priority number 1. The reason being that it covers all the IS and IFRSs in your FR. So this section will talk about IS 16, IS 40, IS 38 and so on. So all the IFRSs are covering under this unit. So अगर आपने ये unit अच्छे से prepare कर लिया तो आपका section A, section B gets covered very well. Okay, so this is the most important unit. The next unit which I will talk about is preparation of financial statements. Section C, as I said, is going to be revolving around 2 questions, and उसमें से एक question 90% of the time comes on consolidation, either of the single entity or of the group entity. Okay, so 20 marks you are going to be spending on preparation of financial statements. The next important topic would be interpretation of the financial statements. The another section C question will be revolving around the interpretation. So whatever you have calculated, or they might give you a fresh balance sheet or P&L or trial balance altogether, and they may ask you to interpret those numbers with respect to the company standards or with respect to the industry standards or with respect to the competitor standards. So it is very important to do this unit very, very well because this will definitely going to be asked in your examination. And then last comes the first unit, which is your regulatory framework, which typically talks about the definitions of assets and liabilities or the conceptual framework or the ethics. This will be examined majorly through section A and section B. So the target that you should set for your paper for FR should be that try getting 20 marks out of 30, which means out of 15, try to get 10 questions right, which is not a very difficult thing, okay? Because section A, as I said, is simpler as compared to section B and C. So try fetching 20 marks here and try to be confident about the 10 questions in section A. Section B, again, try to fetch 20 marks, which means out of the 3 case studies, try to get at least 2 correct. Section C, you should try to get 20 marks. Now, 20 marks, 2 questions. Even if you get 50% marks in both the questions, which is not very difficult because it is purely calculation based. So you have calculated the numbers, which is not very difficult. The interpretation or the analysis part usually is difficult. So getting 50% of the marks in section C is actually not difficult. And this will actually add up to 50 marks, which is the required marks to clear the paper. Now the common mistakes which people do in ACCA FR is that they do not read the questions well. It is very important to read the questions well. And second, they do not practice the questions in the Excel format, right? So just giving you an example. For example, if you see section question B, okay, it talks about calculate the 2004 ratios for aspect company equivalent to those shown in the note based on the restated financial information calculated in part A. Now, this is a question which has also been covered in the examiner's report, where examiner has said that people have taken the old figures and recalculated the ratios. Okay, the question is specifically asking for the restated financial information which is calculated in part A, where you have calculated the figures again and given the revised figures. So please read the question very well. It is important. The next part is, again, also one more explanation here, that whatever numbers are getting calculated, please provide the explanation. Again, lot of students lose their marks because they don't substantiate their figures or their calculations with proper explanations. Please understand, if the calculation is worth 3 marks, 1.5 mark will be for your right answer, and 1.5 mark will be for the explanation behind that answer. So these are the common tips that we suggest to our students who study with us. First is use ACCA practice platform. Guys, please understand, because it is going to be on the CBE platform, you are going to be using Excels to solve the FR. It is very important that you understand the ACCA practice platform. It is very important to understand the tools which you are going to be using in your CBE format. Second is Study Hub. Again, a very good resource. ACC ने बहुत अच्छा platform बना रखा है, up to date information है, but it still lacks a lot of questions. Okay, it still lacks the notes. So in case if you wish to have more detailed notes, flow charts around FR, please get in touch with us and we will be happy to provide. The third one is the presentation. Again, guys, very important, because you will be presenting the financial statements. बहुत important है कि आप heading सही लिखें. आप बैलेंस शीट को बैलेंस शीट नहीं लिख सकते, right? It has to be consolidated financial statements, or it has to be the statement of profit and loss for the year ended. You have to mention the periods as well. So please focus a lot on the presentation part. What currency are you using? Dollar, euro, right? So you have to be very particular about the presentation, because it does carry marks. Next is, if you get stuck in the examination, it is important that you need to stay calm. You have studied enough, you have studied throughout. It is very important to maintain your peace of mind in order to regain and retain your information. I have covered this already. Read the question very carefully. In ACCA, nothing comes direct. Okay, nothing comes just to the point. You have to many a times interpret the question and then answer accordingly. So very important to understand and read the question carefully so as to answer rightly. Next is the writing skills. Because the duration of the examination is 3 hours and there is a lot to write. So you need to practice the writing skills. Your answers should be crisp, concise, explaining the justification behind the calculations, and that will only come with practice. If you need assistance, please get your mock papers vetted through a proper mentor. We are open to mentoring the students, even checking the mock papers. Please reach out to us in case if you need any assistance. And the next part is read the technical articles. With respect to your FR, it is very important to cover the technical articles. ACCA regularly updates the information on the technical articles with respect to any changes in IFR, amendments in IFRS. So please go through the technical articles. And I think all these tips, if you will take care, you will definitely clear FR paper. So I hope these tips are going to be helping you in writing your FR paper. If in case you need further assistance, please reach out to us. You can visit our website www.gccglobal.com. We have created multiple rank holders in the past. We will be very happy to help you. Do like and subscribe our channel for more such updates. Thank you so much.